In this lesson, we want to look at some strategies for adding and subtracting some larger directed numbers. So in this first example, we're looking at 26 plus negative 40. Now if I use the counters, you can see I'd have to put lots and lots of counters in. So we're going to use the number line here. Alright, so we draw our number line and our first number is 26, so we're going to mark it in. And 0 is about here. Now we're adding, so we're going to face the positive direction. But we're going to walk backwards because we're adding a negative. So we're walking backwards 40 places. So I'm going to go back 40. Now to help me do this in my head, I'm going to do it in jumps. So we're going to jump back 26. That'll get me to 0. And how much have I got left over? I've used up 26 out of the 40. So another 4 will get me to 30, and another 10 will get me to 40. So I need to jump 14. Now if I go 14 this side of 0, I end up at negative 14. So the answer is negative 14. Now it's also important to notice something here. When I have add, and then I have to walk backwards, it's basically the same as subtracting. So one of the shortcuts is I could take these two signs here and I could change them into one just to subtract. And you can see then I could start at 26 and face the negative direction because I'm subtracting, and I'm going to go 40 and I get to my same answer. So that's a shortcut. So if I've got a plus and a minus together, I can replace them with a minus. In my second example, we start with a negative 36. We're going to subtract a positive 50. So we're going to use our number line again. So we draw our number line. And the first number that goes on our number line is this one here, so negative 36. So 0 is up here somewhere. Now we're going to take away. Now, when we subtract, we face the negative direction. And we're subtracting a positive number. So we're just going to walk forward. So you can imagine facing this negative direction, we're going to walk forward 50. So again, I'm going to do a big jump. We're going to jump 50 units that way. Now, 50 plus 30 is 80. So we're going to end up at negative 80, but don't forget that's not just 30, it's 36, so negative 86. So the answer to this problem is negative 86. Now, one thing you'll notice here also, this is just a subtraction. So these two signs together here could be replaced with just one single subtraction. And you can see we start at negative 36, we're subtracting, so we face that negative direction, so we're facing that way, and we walk forward 50 units, which gets us to minus 86. In our third example, negative 56 plus positive 16. So we'll draw our number line, put in our first number, negative 57, and 0 is way up here somewhere. Now I'm adding, so I'm going to face the positive direction. And I'm adding a positive number. So I'm going to walk forward. I'm going to walk forward 16. Now, to help me figure that out, I'm going to do it in bits, just so I can figure it out in my head. I'm going to jump 10 first. So if I go this way 10, you might notice my number's heading back towards 0, and so I'm going to end up at minus 47 because I've just gone and jumped a 10. Now I've got to jump 6 more. There I am, jumping 6 more. And I'm going to end up at minus 41. So my final answer is minus 41. You might notice that when you have two plus signs together, you could replace them with a single plus. So this problem I could have written before I worked it out as negative 57 plus 16. So I start at negative 57, I add, so I face that positive direction, and I move 16 units. And I did it in 2 steps just so I could work it out in my head. In my fourth example, we're at 147. We're going to subtract negative 320. Now once again, I can draw a number line to help me out here. So here, we've got 147. We're going to subtract. That means I'm going to face that negative direction. But I'm subtracting a negative, so I'm going to walk backwards. I'm going to walk backwards 320. I'll do it in one big jump. 320. Now, once again, to help me figure this out in my head, I'm going to break it into bits. I'm going to jump 300 first. So if I jump 300, I just add a 3 to the hundreds column here, and I'm going to end up at 447. Now I'm going to finish off my jump with 20. And I'm going to just add 2 to the tens column. So I'm going to end up at 4, 6, 7. So my answer to this problem is 467. Now notice, well, the previous question we had 2 pluses together could replace with a single plus. Well, effectively, by facing the negative direction because of this minus sign and then walking backwards, it's the same as just doing a plus. So when I see 2 signs together that are the same, whether they're plus and plus or whether they're a minus and a minus, I can replace them with a plus. So 147 plus 320, and that's a problem that we've done before, even without knowing about directed number. So for my fifth example, we're going to start at negative 125. We're going to subtract negative 205. So we'll draw our number line, mark on negative 125 here, and zeros over here somewhere. And I'm going to subtract. So when I subtract, because of that minus sign there, I'm going to face the negative direction. But I'm subtracting a negative number. So I'm going to walk backwards 201 units. You can see that's going to take us past 0 up into the positive numbers. Now, once again, I'm going to do this in steps just to make it easier for myself. I've got to go 201 that way. So I know I'm going to use up 125 just to get to 0. Now, how much have I got left to go? Well, 25 plus 75 will get me 100. So 125 plus 75 will get me to 200, but I need one more. So I can jump 75 plus 1, and 75 plus 1 is 76. And so the answer to this problem is 76. Now if I use that shortcut, notice these 2 signs are the same. And when the signs are the same together, I can replace them with a single plus. Now, there's another little trick here. Once I do this, I could pick this number up, 201, place it here, and I could pick this number up, minus 125, and place it here, and then it becomes an ordinary problem that we've done before. It's just an ordinary takeaway before we study directed number. So we can come up with a shortcut rule. 2 signs together can be replaced with a single sign. So if the signs are the same, we replace it with a single plus. So if we get a plus and a plus together, or a minus and a minus together, we can get rid of them and just write a single plus. If the signs are different, we can replace the signs with a single subtract or minus sign. So if we see a minus and a plus together, or a plus and a minus together, we can replace them with a single minus.